NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today, we're taking a look at the elections with a particular emphasis on the North, because it is in the North where the BJP has peaked. Can the opposition make a dent in the BJP stronghold? Because don't forget, over here, the BJP has peaked, and it is also over here where the BJP is mostly in a direct fight against the Congress. Can the Congress then make a dent in the BJP stronghold? Talking to me on this, I have a panel of experts and people who've been there on the ground. I have Sanjay Kumar. He's a professor and he's a professor and co-director of Lokniti and a professor at CSDS. Rahul Verma, he is a fellow at the Center for Policy Research. Pawan Verma, commentator, author, diplomat, and of course, former Rajya Sabha MP. Ashutosh, he's the founding director, he's a founding editor of satyahindi.com. And Batri Narayan, he is a social scientist, social historian, and an author. Sanjay, you've been doing a lot of polls and surveys. Your CSDS survey recently shows that there is some kind of improvement in Rahul's ratings. People are talking, while Modi has peaked, people are also talking about issues that pertain them, like economic distress. So where do you see the opposition in the North?
Priya, I think it is important to mention that this is not a recent poll which we have done, because it might create confusion. This is a poll which was conducted in the first week of April. And what you are referring to is, I think, from the first week of poll, which we conducted, and we figured out that in terms of popularity rating, Rahul Gandhi has reached 27%, and still Prime Minister Modi's rating was at 47%. So there was a 20% gap. If you compare Rahul Gandhi's popularity now compared to 2019, yes, it has gone up almost 10%. But when we did the poll in last year, in the month of May, Rahul Gandhi has already reached that level, and that was soon after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So we do get a sense that popularity of Rahul Gandhi, or his acceptability, has gone up. It has gone up nationally. I'm sure it would have gone up in several other states. If you look at the current mood, yes, there are anxieties on the ground with regard to unemployment, price rise, also with regard to corruption. But also there are parallel narrative which people endorse. People endorse BJP's work on development. People endorse BJP's work on Ram Mandir. And let's not forget, at least from the survey point of view, that people still have a lot of faith in Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
In the North, Sanjay, how do you see? Can the Congress hope to make a dent? Say in Rajasthan, we are hearing that it might get a few seats. In Delhi, Haryana, of course, the Congress is expecting some seats.
Very difficult to go state by state. Overall, yes. If you look at the entire North India, BJP has peaked in the two states, in the two elections, 2014, and it peaked further in 2019, even if we go state by state. So Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chattisgarh, Gujarat, Himachal, Haryana, and few other states. It is absolutely impossible for BJP to breach that, like the upper limit. So there is all the possibility that BJP will come down compared to its performance in 2019. Yes, what you are hearing, I am also hearing that in Rajasthan, BJP got 25 out of 25 in the last two Lok Sabha elections. This may not be, 2024 may not give BJP the same kind of a electoral dividend as it gave in 2014 and 2019. BJP may suffer losses in Rajasthan. To what extent? I think we will have to wait till 4th of June to figure out whether BJP loses 4, 5, 10, or we don't know.
And UP and Bihar are still to go to polls. Rahul, what are you hearing about the North, the fortunes of the BJP in the North?
I don't hear, I look at the data. So
okay, what are your data saying?
Yes, because once you start hearing, then you hear all kind of stories and noises. So to me, I think I largely agree with Sanjay ji, because BJP, in a way, in direct Congress versus BJP fight, had 95% of strike rate. The chances of them going down and Congress improving is always going to be high. And so I do think that, from all the conversations that you are talking about, Congress is likely to gain a couple of seats. Now, whether in total that seats are going to be 10, 15, then it won't make any difference to the national outcome. But if it's going to be 45, 50 seats, then it will definitely make. I don't think anyone can with confidence say that Congress will be gaining 50 seats in Congress versus BJP competitions or 40 seats.
Fair enough. But there is also UP and Bihar, which I will come to you later on that. But Pavan, the data is speaking, but what about the political analysis of the data?
No, thank you,
Pavan.
Priya. I say I'm surrounded by experts, and I am not one.
You are one. You are begging.
But you see, elections are difficult to predict. But certainly there seems to be some level of subterranean discontent and a certain fatigue factor with regard to Prime Minister Modi's ubiquitous presence. I seem to discern in the last 2 weeks or so the Prime Minister's speeches acquiring a shriller tone, focusing almost entirely on emotional matters like the communal divide. And I think somewhere there is a sense that now is the time to just press forward on this issue, because those undecided voters or those slightly alienated voters or those indifferent to the voting process because they are probably upset with the ruling party in some matters but are equally disillusioned by the opposition, to entice them to go and vote. But I sense, and I will can be wrong, that this process has begun a bit late for the opposition, and whether it is able to convert or see a transformation in terms of seats is doubtful. However, there are reports from UP to which I am privy, which say that the earlier estimation that based on Yogi Adityanath ji's popularity, the BJP's numbers would be over 70 out of 80. That seems to be in doubt. Whether they will dip below 62, which they got last time, is something to be seen. The most pessimistic supporters of the BJP are placing it at 55, but I leave it to the psephologists to say. Similarly, in Rajasthan, I see a loss of possibly 4 or 5, 7 seats. Gujarat, I see none. Madhya Pradesh, I see none. Chattisgarh, possibly some seats. Yes, Haryana, where the last time won 10 out of 10. A lot of people are saying it will be 5 versus 5. Bihar, this time...
I was waiting for you to come to Bihar.
Bihar, this time, the BJP, I think, has made a strategic error, but I could be wrong. You see, because the alliance last time between the BJP and the JDU got 39 out of 40 seats. This time, the BJP is fighting only on 17 seats, and they have given as many to the JDU. Now, in my view, JDU is much weaker today than it was in 2019. And Mr. Nitish Kumar's popularity is at its lowest, given his further flip-flops since 2019. So there is a weak link in the BJP alliance, which is the 17 seats of the JDU, which we had discussed last time also, the RJD is specially focusing on. So I don't think that the alliance is likely now to get 39 seats. I say it was an error because according to our estimation or field reports, the BJP was already getting around 30-32 seats. But now having given 17 away to JDU,
They'll roster it.
I think it may dip a little. But they will gain in, if you count West Bengal also, they will gain, I think, 2 or 3 seats in West Bengal. And please bear in mind, and this is my last point, that what they may lose in the north, they could gain south of the Vindhyas. In
To that.
Odisha, in Telangana, and possibly one or two seats in Tamil Nadu. So we have to balance the picture.
So they may balance the losses, Ashutosh. But how do you see the election so far?
Priya, two things first of all, and I think these are the two premises. On that basis, I'm building my argument of edifice. The one is there is a definite anti-incumbency against the BJP government at the center. And CSDS data clearly underlines that. Even the mood of the nation clearly underlines that. If 71% people believe and think that the situation has got worse on the front of the unemployment, that's a matter of worry. And 62% in the mood of the nation has said, in the last 5 years, their income has gone down and there is no possibility of improvement in the future. And again, the CSDS data on the front of unemployment, the price rise and the corruption. So there is a definite anti-incumbency. Second is there is a definite Modi fatigue. And there is a definite Modi fatigue, and that happened. That's very natural, because if a leader is there for the 10 years and day in and day out, he's on the television channel, I also get bored and you also get bored and the viewer also get bored. How many times you can listen the same argument, the same word, same sentence, and same feature, same mannerism. So there is a definite Modi fatigue. And out of these two, and why I'm saying so, because there is a talk about the localization of election. The localization of the parliament election means that the Modi factor is definitely not working. If there is a localization of election, otherwise there had been a lamppost elections. That to put anybody, people are winning elections because of the Narendra Modi. And out of these three, I am building my argument that why Modi is getting worried about the constitution, change of constitution and the reservation debate. I think that's where they had committed a mistake. Second point is the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal has certainly damaged its reputation, because Arvind Kejriwal is no ordinary leader, whether you like him or hate him, whatever you say. But he is one of the tallest leader in the country. And then third is the Ram Mandir Mudda is not working. So all these three. Look at the election campaign. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah have stopped talking about getting more than 400 seats. There has to be some reason why he is doing so, and they are apologetic, and they are going out of their way to tell to the elector, to the voters that बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर भी आ जाए तो भी अब वो संविधान नहीं बदलेंगे. My argument is बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर आएंगे तो संविधान बिल्कुल नहीं बदलेंगे, लेकिन मोदी जी आएंगे तो संविधान बदलेंगे. यही लोगों के मन का डर है. तो बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर तो नहीं संविधान बदलेंगे, बट वो बदलेंगे. So why there is so much emphasis, so much clarification, so much trying to tell to the voter that I'm not going to change constitution, I'm not going to change constitution, I'm not going to change constitution. And on the issue of reservation, they are trying to, and what has got them really worried and puzzled is the Congress manifesto, because the Congress manifesto has turned the Hindu-Muslim binary on its head. And they had brought into the focus the social justice concept. And in the social justice concept, it catches the imagination of the people that 50% limit is going to be increased. There will be privatization, the reservation in the private companies, the women will be given preferences and all that. There's certainly any leader in the government has to be worried. My last point I want to make, and where I agree with Pawanji, that why Mr. Modi from the day one has gone into the Hindu-Muslim binary. In journalism, we are told, whenever in doubt, cut it out. In politics, in Modi's politics, whenever in doubt, go back to the Hindu-Muslim binary.
He brings it out.
Go back to the Hindu-Muslim binary. So whenever Mr. Modi is in doubt, he goes back to the binary of Hindu-Muslim, and the kind of shill campaign he's doing. I think this is the shilliest campaign since 2002. He's saying कि मुसलमान तो इन्फिल्ट्रेटर्स हैं, मैं मर जाऊंगा लेकिन मैं मुसलमानों को कभी भी मैं आरक्षण नहीं दूंगा. This is not Narendra Modi I knew.
Well, you said Modi's pictures everywhere. One place where it's not any longer is the COVID certificate, by the way, Ashutosh. The PMO saying is because of the model code of conduct. But if you download, yes, I know what you want to say. But anyway, so this Kamandal versus Mandal argument is really picking up. Who will it benefit, especially in UP, where you are from?
Yeah, Priya, first of all, I'll respond to your questions, but let me begin from here. There are two elections is going on in this election. One is the election by the media, those who want to displace Modi consciously or conviction at the level of conviction or just a wish, and on the other in the mind of the people. And you can find two different results in this election also. In UP, especially in other parts of India also. And how it is happening and why. One is the entire this discourse of reservation, no, the caste-based reservations, aspiration, wishes that it is going to emerge as a big issue among public, and it is going to affect the result. This is the interpretation of one too. There is another, and it just started as a campaign, and that campaign worked. I'm not saying it's not worked. And that campaign brought BJP on the line where they are raising the issue of religious divide of the reservation opportunity and saving that. And worry, this entire election is the election of worry, you know? Because everyone is want to create worry, what we call bhai adharit or bhai dohan par adharit mobilization. So and so to protect that, BJP came with another argument. We don't know how this argument, but this is another level of where this election is going on. The level like us, the level like media, the level like a bar or columns, etc. But at the grassroots level, how much it is going to affect, it's very difficult to say. And you know, the Modi, this fatigue about the Modi image, I differ with this idea or observation. Because, you know, Modi has a miraculous impact even in the grassroots today, in spite of this all onslaught and attack of on the reservation arguments and whatever. You see, you have already seen the impact of reservation argument in MP election, in Chattisgarh election. And you can see in this election also it is going to be like that. But it's a kind of atmosphere, media atmosphere, or you can say the what we call it's a kind of discursive atmosphere is being created that this is going to affect the election in a big way. But the another thing which you raised that about what will happen in UP. You see, in UP, BJP has performed very well in last elections. Maybe 1 seat, 2 seat go upper or lower. It's very difficult to say. But their impact at the grassroots is still very intact.
Okay. We're taking a look at the election so far and also the impact really in the north, because that is where the BJP stronghold is. But Sanjay ji, I'll bring to you the question about to Badrinaran ji. How do you see this Mandal versus Kamandal debate in the Hindi heartland?
No, I think if you look at both the political parties, BJP is trying to contest the election on the Kamandal issue. They are foregrounding it. And if you look at the opposition, mainly the Congress and other opposition parties, so they are trying to contest the election in the name of social justice. So they are trying to foreground the Mandal issue. At this moment, it is very difficult to figure out which narrative is going to win. From an overall perspective, it seems that the narrative of Mandir seems to be more strong, or what you call the Hindutva seems to be a little stronger compared to the narrative of Mandal. But I think, again, I would go back to what I said earlier. We still need to wait for some more time till the 4th of June to figure out actually how these two narratives worked on the ground. I do get a sense that the narrative which is being used by the BJP seems to be much stronger at this moment compared to the narrative of Mandal.
Can you answer Badrinaran's question? Did in the Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, Chattisgarh assembly elections, also the Congress raised the caste survey? It didn't really work for them, did it?
Yes. I would like to add one thing.
I'll just ask Sanjay Singh, then I'll come back to you, Sanjay Kumar.
No, you're right. You're right. If you look at the verdict of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chattisgarh, we do get a sense that this was not a narrative on which people actually decided which party to vote for. But don't forget that this is a narrative, this is an issue which got people's support on the ground. We were asking this question and a lot of people said, yes, it is important to do a caste census. It is important to do a caste survey. But this issue was not shaping their voting decision. So these are two different parallel narratives going on the ground. The voting decision is not getting shaped largely by this issue. Voting decision is getting shaped by other issues. But we should not be confused that this is not an issue on the ground. People do support this issue.
Okay. Rahul, your take on this Mandal versus Kamandal. Do you agree with what Sanjay said?
3 points. First, as Sanjay rightly pointed out, that in any opinion poll, you would find evidence in support of caste census. And that's largely because the number of OBCs, SCs, and STs in this country is so large that you will always find 55 to 60% of people supporting this. The reason Congress party was not able to take advantage, like you can raise an issue, but people are not going to find your issue position credible, because for 50 years, Congress party has not been seen as a party which does OBC politics in North India. And just by saying something, you are not going to attract voters, especially in comparison to BJP, which has a line of OBC leadership, including Prime Minister Modi. And then it also nominates more candidates from OBC community. In Madhya Pradesh, BJP had more OBC candidates in compared to Congress. Second point, I think when you think of North, you have to think that there are some states where the competition is going to be only between Congress and BJP, which is Rajasthan, MP, Chattisgarh, Gujarat, and those kind of states. And then UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, where BJP is going to contest against the might of sort of like Congress plus SP in UP, RJD, and then JMM in Jharkhand. See, in across Northwest, BJP has done really, really well. Only unless Congress pulls up its game in these states, it's not possible to turn the arithmetic of this election. So you do any permutation combination, unless Congress basically manages to pull down BJP by 25, 30 seats, it's not going to change. And in national elections, there is always going to be a national momentum. You can't have 2 seats or 10 seats in Rajasthan and nothing happens to BJP in UP. Right? So it will have some effect everywhere if BJP is going negative. Right? Surveys picked up the anxiety. Like all surveys pointed out that people are anxious about economic situation. But surveys also suggested that it is not translating into political action. So you can't pick up only one side of the survey data to make argument. Both things are happening in the survey. And there is a reason why this disjunction between economic anxiety and political preferences exist. This could have closed in the campaign, but I don't think, and I think Pawanji is right about this, that the opposition perhaps was too late in sort of like bringing this up. And it may be not because of opposition's politics, but largely because of people's own preferences that you are seeing a little bit of dampened mood during the campaign.
Janta Janardhan, at least the public is getting a voice, Pawan. We've discussed the fact that, UP also you.
No, I'll tell you, the issue to my mind is clear, because you yourself made a binary of Kamandal versus Mandal. Now, on the Kamandal issue, I have no doubts that emotionally the tug is very strong, especially when you juxtapose it with a weak opposition, which messed up its response to the Ayodhya issue and also is fractured and divided. And a Congress party which Rahul Gandhi may have slightly gained in popularity, but which at the grassroots level is defunct more or less. So that issue has to be juxtaposed to this fact. Also the fact that economic situation, unemployment and inflation, can they play a role which is disproportionately higher than the Kamandal factor? For that, yes, it is possible. It can be done. And the Mandir issue is by now somewhat losing its euphoric appeal. But the opposition could not channelize that discontent on a pan-India basis as an electorally effective narrative. And so whether it can do so at this late stage and with what gains remains a question. Now, on the Mandal issue, I strongly believe that history repeats itself as farce or tragedy. The moment for Mandal politics came when the Mandal report came. It empowered an entire generation, not only of leaders, but raised the hope of a great many of the backward classes who felt that social justice had not been delivered. Now, when you visit now, a lot of water has flown down the Yamuna, and people sense that you cannot use the demand for a caste census as a substitute for good governance.
Okay.
Look at the states where the caste census, the Mandal Commission has empowered leaders. Take Lalu Yadav. He has literally driven Bihar into the ground. Other leaders also cannot use the caste census as a substitute for good governance, on which issue, as of now, you cannot say that the Modi government has not delivered.
Okay.
Number of OBCs that they have deliberately widened their base with in the cabinet and otherwise. Alliances they have entered into. Some of the impact of the welfareism, although there is great degree of corruption on the ground, even in those days. Now, all of these factors weigh against leaders who have not delivered while in power, talking about social justice through caste census. So this is something we must bear in mind.
Okay. I think Rahul, you wanted to come in on this? I'll get Ashutosh.
No.
Rahul, you want to say something?
No, please get Ashutosh. I'll come later.
Okay. Ashutosh, but do emotions win elections? Or is it, does development win elections? It is emotions. I remember Akhilesh Yadav telling me after the 2017 loss कि मैं metro और expressway की बात कर रहा था, वहाँ कब्रिस्तान और शमशान घाट की बात हो रही थी. So it is emotion. People in India do tend to vote more on emotions.
प्रिया, जब तक 100 डिग्री नहीं होता तब तक पानी उबलता नहीं ना.
हाँ.
What is, see, let me go back to the 1991-92, 6th December 1992. Everybody today in what they say that the BJP is got majority governments at the center in 2014, 2019 because Lalkis Advani rode on the Rath Yatra and the Babri Masjid demolition. But people forget that just after that 6th December 1992, the 4 governments were dismissed and the 3 could not form the government. UP could not form the government, Himachal couldn't form the government, Madhya Pradesh couldn't form the government, and in Rajasthan, Bhairav Singh Shekhawat managed to form the government. It is because of the coalition politics. So should we say that the Kamandal issue didn't fail miserably? So the 2 arguments cannot go together. Okay. The caste census today might not have delivered in the assembly elections, might not have delivered, and it did not deliver. That argument can be built. But the point is, you can win elections unless you cross certain critical mass. So why Modi government is reacting on the Congress manifesto? Why the Modi government is trying to give a spin to the Congress manifesto? Why the Modi government is going from one constituency to another constituency and promising people that I am not going to change the constitution. Reservations will remain the same. Why? What has force? Modi is not an ordinary leader.
Okay. Somewhere the Congress has flickered. Yeah.
He's not one man who will respond to a particular political issue unless he knows the potential of it emerging as a bigger issue.
Okay.
He's doing that. So I am only saying is, it's very good to beat Congress because Congress is the वो जो गरीब की जोरू है वो तो जो मन में आता आके 2 थप्पड़ लगा के चला जाता है.
अरे principal opposition है.
No, Priya.
Okay, quickly.
I'm only saying is that 1952 to 1982 BJP could not cross 7% vote share. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, how many times he lost? Okay. How many times Lalkis Advani lost? But nobody said that he was a small leader. Today, BJP and RSS and their related propaganda is out to discredit Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party and every leader in opposition. Today,
Okay.
there is no
Let me
debate
get
about...
Badrinath and, yeah, quickly.
10 seconds. Today, how many debates has happened on the Sandesh Khali and not one on the Karnataka Prajwal Revanna? I'm asking this question. Sandesh Khali, day in and day out, every TV channel was doing a debate and rubbishing Mamata Banerjee as if the Mamata Banerjee is the demon on the earth. The Prime Minister knew about this in the month of December when the letter was written by the local leader to the Congress, to the BJP president and to the but nobody is blaming Mr. Modi about it. Nobody asking questions.
Okay, but I'm sorry to get back to you. The final word to you.
Yeah, Priya, actually, I wanted to say that you people are talking about narrative. But I used to say that this election is not the election of narrative, the election of image. And narrative is playing a supplementary role in that. So whatever the arguments which political parties are pushing, beyond that, there is an image factor. And that is, in that, Narendra Modi is higher than anyone. Second thing is, and that we usually fail to understand, and that sometimes we used to call it undercurrent and whatever. Second thing is this caste census issue. Pawan ji rightly said that you can't put caste census to compare with the good governance. Or actually, I used to say in different way that this is a neoliberal time, in which this is a time of aspiration, in which the identity issue gets diluted with the various kinds of aspirational fly, which are emerging among youths, among the marginals, among various kinds of community. So the identity politics, which was so dominant in 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you can't find in that, because this is the second phase of neoliberal time, and this is a time of various kinds of imaginations, various kinds of imaginations to fly, aspirations, and media exposure is helping in that. In villages, if you go and talk to the youths, sometimes they say, "अरे कुछ नहीं होगा तो धंधा कर लेंगे, सड़क बना है किनारे दुकान कर लेंगे और यूट्यूबर बन जाएंगे, वो रवीश कुमार कितना पैसा कमा रहा है." No, that kind of, I don't know from where these aspirations comes, but these are the, earlier, there was a feeling that job नहीं मिलेगी तो मर जाओ, खेती में जाकर करना पड़ेगा, खेत में काम करना पड़ेगा. तो
Priya, 120 seconds.
Okay, quickly, he hasn't got much time.
I'm just making a flippant remark. I always listen to Badri very carefully, but this time I was focusing particularly because it seems there is a large wad of notes behind it.
मदन नारायण जी, आई थिंक इमेज की बात कर रहे हैं तो आपके पीछे इमेज थोड़ा
Priya, just 10 seconds.
Okay,
Priya, 10 seconds. I think what is good governance? What is good governance? How will you define good governance? Lalu Yadav, Jangal Raj is bad governance, and Narendra Modi's subjugation of the Muslims as a second-grade citizen is good governance. What is good governance? I just fail to understand.
Okay, image is the but quickly then Rahul, go word.
Yes. So just I want to continue. The caste census issue on which our friends are investing a lot. In my view, because of this shift in the social psyche, it is not going to work the way it worked the earlier time. You need to give up, and Modi image is a package, which gives them various kinds of imaginational aspirations.
So aspiration is taking over identity. Yes. Sorry to cut you short. I will call you back again. But Rahul, you want to give a last word?
Last word on what? Like I would prefer a straight question to answer.
Okay. No, on this whole question, you wanted to come in when Pawan was saying something on identity politics and with the this whole caste census debate in today's times.
See, when parties or candidates contest election, they throw in every card that is possible, right? So look from, if Prime Minister Modi is going to talk about aspirations and Viksit Bharat of 2047, he will also come back to the ideological DNA of the party, which is the Hindu-Muslim polarization. Same way with the Congress party. Like all campaigns are made up of positive and negative. Sometimes the positive elements are higher, sometimes negative elements are higher. In this election, it seems that both parties are using negative imagery to attack each other rather than sort of like contesting on the positive imagery in that sense. Of course, BJP and PM Modi has a futuristic agenda, but then that seems more like something that is 25 years out there. And Congress is not able to create a positive imagery from its own governance record or governance record, not just in past time, but also what its states are doing, right? So positives are missing, and more sort of like attacking each other is happening in this election season.
Well, that's as good as last word as any. Thank you so much, all of you, for this conversation and for keeping a track on the elections. We'll be back again soon, but for now, that is all. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.